Silent anger is a silent killer, slowly sucking out the life. Nerve by nerve, you are shattered before you are mopped away into an early grave. In the previous video, it was quite obvious that I was angry. I could not have composed myself. I did 3 takes, and by the time the third one rolled around, I refused to go forth with a 4th take. I was not in the best state of mind because my self-hatred was quite great. I was angry, very angry. But that anger didn't go away. It simply became silent. My anger simply decided to dig underground and burrow its way throughout my system, rotting me from the inside out, eating at me, gnawing at me, making sure that whatever it is that is hurting me, that wants me dead, is well hidden. This poem is short because it is quite simple. The turmoil that I'm going through is quite simple. There is no grandiose design. There is no greater meaning. It's simply self-hatred at its finest. In the previous video, I stated that in years past, when my self-control was vastly poorer than it is today, I would try to relieve the anger, relieve the stress, relieve the pressure by lashing out in a very loud and physical way. Since then, I have had some time to reflect, some time to think it over, to grow, and I have decided that that is a poor way to deal with one's hate. I decided to pour it out in a poem and get it out through this video, or rather the previous video. But ever since that video, this hate has been stuck with me, and I have been trying to deal with it in the mature way as I did last time. It is a silent killer. It is a new front to me because I will not say I had never felt this way before, but it has probably been so long since the last time I had felt this way that it is quite alien to me to face this sensation head on, face it with any shred of wisdom or experience. So the only thing I know what to do somewhat competently is write a poem. A short poem that goes straight to the point for a very obvious and simple to explain issue. The hatred is still there. What do you do when the hatred is that strong? Any of you ever felt a hatred that intense? Not necessarily for yourself, but a hatred so intense for whatever it may be, your fellow man, an inanimate object, a concept, a whatever it may be. Have you ever felt that way? It is boiling within me, bubbling to the surface, just reaching the edge to explode, yet not making sure it subsided just enough so that the entire body knows that it is bubbling and boiling. I am bubbling and boiling, but I have to endure this pressure. It is an unpleasant, ugly feeling. I wish to face it head on, gain control of it. There are many civilizations throughout history who, for some reason or another, use it through their way of military, their way of combat to face this issue, because hate is prevalent within the fighting units, within the military of whatever nation it may be. whether it be the Bushido code of the samurai or the chivalric virtues of the knights of Francia, whatever it may be, whatever time it may be, they always have a passage on hatred, how to face it, how to conquer it. To be quite honest, I try, even though I don't fully understand it yet, I try to face it with the mindset of the East, whether it be the Bushido code of the Japanese or the wise words of Sun Tzu from The Art of War. Because for me, there is no enemy in a opposing state, army, conquer. No, it is just a war of self, a war within. And for many, Sun Tzu included, that is the greatest enemy of all, oneself. In many sports, that is also prevalent, rising above your own self, beating your personal record, bettering your own self, be it in combat sports or athletics. That it is strong. Right now it's strong within me. And every waking moment I have to deal with that. Face it head on. What do you do? Any of you, what do you do? How do you face it? Do you even acknowledge or are aware of that whole aspect that I brought up about the military or the Bushido code or the values? Do you just view it as a base instinct? Do you view it something as more primal, animalistic, something that cannot be conquered, cannot be faced, cannot be tamed, that just is, that needs to flow, that needs to happen? Or is it a coincidence of pure chance, invoked by a myriad of variables that, for some reason or another, played against you? Or in layman's terms, you got dealt a bad hand, and now you gotta play it. How do you see it? How do you deal with it? But it is shattering me nerve by nerve. And I have seen people in my life face this type of anger, and I have seen them being swept away into an early grave. So I ask, how do you deal with it in a healthy way? I know we can't eradicate it, it must happen, or at least it must happen if it comes to it. So when it comes to it, if it is here, how? How do you deal with it? Sometimes some of the most complex questions come from the most simplest of circumstances. I hope you're doing well. Spread the word. Thank you for watching. Thank you.